Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my March TBR for you. Okay, so in the month of March, I'm actually participating in REALM-A-Thon, which is a read-along reading challenge sort of situation. There are 4 teams, and each team basically reads books, collects points, and the team with the most points win. So I am actually on the Monarchs team, and each team has 2 YouTuber hosts per team. Basically what we do is we go through, we have specific prompts that are for the overall read-a-thon and then ones that are specific for your team. So the read-a-thon is based around Carrion City. So the overall theme reading prompt for it is to read something set in an urban setting. For the Monarchs, my team specifically, ours is something set in a different world, so fantasy, and something to do with politics. So political fantasy is what my team is made of, which is perfect for me because I love political fantasies. Now, the unfortunate thing is I have a lot of books that I have to read this month for book clubs and to finish off my bingo board for the year that I'm struggling. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish all of this. Plus, I'm trying to finish all of the books that are on my Goodreads, like books I've been reading that I have been sitting there for forever. So I'm trying to tackle as much as I can while fulfilling as many prompts as I can. It's gonna be rough. So I'm not putting in this TBR any of like the political fantasies I plan on picking up, except for the ones that are already like part of book clubs or that I have to finish. Everything else I'm just gonna be like grabbing and reading at random and hoping that they meet the prompts that I need. But to start it off, I'm gonna go with what books I have to read. So I am actually in a local book club, but I have joined another local book club. So I'm in 2 local book clubs now. For my local book clubs, the first book that I was supposed to read, this was February's pick, is A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I was just not in the mood for cozy, and this is like a cozy romantic fantasy-ish story. I was just not in the mood for it, so it got pushed back. I still need to read it though. I missed the discussion for the book, but I still have to read it. Like I can't not read it. It was part of the book club, so I'm still going to read it, so it's on my list. But then the next book that we picked for the month is actually The Lost Bookshop. So I'm not sure what the vibe of this book is. The back of the book doesn't give you very much. For too long, Ophelia, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives, but when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these 3 unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported into a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. So there's a lost bookshop. They get transported into a world, maybe, into books. I'm not sure. It's very vague, but they go on an adventure. So that's the one for March's book club. So I'm gonna have to read that one. Neither of these apply to my political fantasy aspect, or I don't think that either of them also fit with like an urban setting. I think the only thing I'll be able to like points that I'll be able to get off of these is that they're set in fantastical worlds. I don't even know if this one is in a fantastical world. If it's set in this one but it's taken you to a fantastical world, does it count? I don't know. Then for the other book club, so my other book club, the book we are choosing for the month of March is actually Blood Over Bright Haven. So this one seems like it will fulfill all my prompts. It is set in another world, in an urban setting at a university, and there seems to be politics, but not like government politics, but more like academic politics, like politics within the realm of academia. It seems that the main character, she gets hired, I believe, at a university to work there, and she's basically made to feel unwelcome by her colleagues. I don't know necessarily if it's because she's a woman or because of her branch of study or something like that, but she's made to feel unwelcome, and rather than provided an actual like research assistant, they provide her with a janitor to be her assistant. Well, it turns out that the janitor is a badass, so it's probably gonna be awesome, and they probably prove the evil people wrong. But it is a school for magic. I don't know if I specified that. It is a magic school, so, and the janitor turns out to be a badass. So I'm super excited to read this one, and I think that it will check my boxes for the things that I need for political fantasy. Again, not government political, but like there are a lot of politics in academia, and I feel like this is going to cover some of that. So I'm quite excited about that. So those are my books for my book clubs. Now, another book club is technically a book club, is Valor by John Gwynn. So this is a part of the Catch-Up Book Club hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books and a few other YouTubers. I decided to join Catch-Up Book Club because they were starting a new series. So we've already read Malice, and then we have Valor that we have to read. Now, this one I need to read really early on because the live show is early in March. I didn't realize how early in March it was, and I've kind of screwed myself over a little bit because I have left myself like 0 time to read this. So this is going to be like at the top of my priority list, but it is a political fantasy. It's not necessarily set in an urban setting because there are so many settings, but some of the characters, because there's a lot of point of views, some of the point of views are set in cities, some are not. There's definitely a lot of politics. One of the main characters is a prince, or technically he's a king now, I guess. Spoiler, sorry. And it's definitely set in another world. So this one will fulfill my prompt for that, which I'm super excited about. Now we have the books that I started and never finished. So the first one that I started but never finished is the oldest one that I started. So I started this one, I think summer of 2024. Again, it was just a bad timing situation. That was when I started moving and doing all of that and looking to buy a house and moving, and it was just a lot of chaos. So I need to finish this one, and this is These Infinite Threads by Tahereh Mafi. It is the sequel to This Woven Kingdom, which is like a Persian-inspired fantasy, and it's got jinn and magic and dragons and princes and kings and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely checks the box. And the settings, they are in the kingdoms, which are urban kingdoms. They're cities and stuff like that in the kingdom. So I'm super excited to finish this one. I love Tahereh Mafi. I love everything that she writes, and I'm super excited about this series. The 4th book is coming out later this year. I don't know if that's the end of the series, but I think it might be. I'm super excited to wrap this one up. I don't want to read all of these back to back. I'm trying to kind of space them out a little bit. That way I don't have to wait so many months in between books for the 4th one to come out. But depending on how this one ends, I might have to pick up the sequel like shortly after. So I might be reading that in March too. Who knows? Another one that I started and didn't finish is The Teller of Small Fortunes. So originally I picked this one up to fulfill a prompt for my bingo board, but I never finished it. I actually fulfilled that prompt with another book that I read that I just wanted to read, one that I had again started and never finished. But I started it and I never finished it, so now I need to finish it. So I would like to finish it. I'm only on page 141, so there's only about 170 pages left, so I should be able to knock that out fairly quickly. This is set in another world. It is not set in a city, but I think they do go through some cities at some point, so I'll have to see if that counts. But for the most part, they're traveling, they're on the road, and I don't know if there's necessarily politics in it. So far, it's been pretty cozy and just kind of like a found family situation. Fortune teller, she has more than just basic palm reading skills, but she doesn't want to use it because she's run away from there is politics in it because she's run away from like the hierarchy of like magicians and stuff. They're trying to pull her back, and like the king needs her. So there is politics. This would definitely count. So it's another world, there's politics. I don't know. We'll have to see if it counts for an urban setting. I don't believe that they've gone through any major cities yet, and it's just kind of been like back roads and small towns and stuff, but there might be towards the end of the book because the setting changes. So we'll see. This actually might work out for me very well, so I gotta finish that one. Another one that I have to finish, which is also gonna count for my bingo board, is Just Doing My Job, which is a historical nonfiction. It is a collection of short stories of people and their experiences during the events of Pearl Harbor and World War II. I started it when this is the oldest one I have. I started this when I was in Hawaii. I bought this in Hawaii. And I went in like October of 2023. So I've been reading this book for a really long time. And originally I just started off reading like one story at a time. And then I just kind of put it to the wayside and fell off of it. So I need to finish this one, not only for my bingo board, but it's got politics in it. It's not set in a fictional world, so that will not work. And some of the stories are in cities, in urban settings. So, that could work. The only kicker is going to be it's set in this world, but it should work for the challenge. It will definitely knock a square off my bingo board, and then it will be one that I've started and finished and just kind of clearing that off my Goodreads. So this one has a lot of boxes that it can check for me if I can just get through it. And then the last one is one that will not work for my read-a-thon for high points at all. I don't think there's anything about this that will, but it will work to check off my bingo board. So I have to read it before the end of March to complete my bingo board. There's only 2 squares left on that sucker, and one is short stories and one is a book published in the 90s. So that book is going to be Practical Magic. So based off of my knowledge of this, which is the movie, that is my whole knowledge of this is the movie. I do not believe that it will count for an urban setting. I do not believe that there's any politics in it. And it's set in our world. It's just it's an urban fantasy, but it's not set in like an urban setting. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna cross anything off, but I do need to read it this month because otherwise I spent an entire year to just fail because I've only got 2 squares left. So I need to read these 2 for sure this month. And that way I don't fail my bingo board that I've been working on for an entire year. But this is what we've got. So that is my TBR for March. Not even counting all the books that I want to read just that are political fantasies for the fun of it, because political fantasy is like one of my favorite genres. So of course I want to read all of them. But yeah, so this is my very extensive TBR. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna get through, but I'm gonna try really, really, really hard. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 isn't bad. 8's not a bad number. I might be able to get through 8 of them, especially if I invoke the use of audiobooks to assist me. But yeah, if any of you have read any of these, please let me know what you think about them. Don't give me any spoilers though, because I need to make sure that I'm getting through it. But if you have read any of them, or if you are interested in learning more about them, comment down below and I can give you my opinion in the comments on what I think after I've read them. Anyways guys, thank you for tuning in for another video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so that you can get more bookish content from me and my craziness. So anyways guys, thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.